A poor kid stumbled upon a $10 bill buried in the snow. Instead of turning it in, he sprinted to the nearest store and bought a Wonka chocolate bar. He tore open the wrapper, and there it was, a shining golden ticket. Legend had it that finding one could make you a billionaire. The shop owner was absolutely floored. The last golden ticket, right here in his little store. A man nearby spotted it and immediately rushed over.
I'll give you $50 and a new bicycle.
Are you crazy? I'd give him $500 for that ticket. You want to sell me your ticket for $500, young man?
That's enough of that. Leave the kid alone.
The shop owner stepped in and told the boy not to sell it to anyone, just take it home. The boy ran back in a frenzy and showed the ticket to his grandfather. Grandpa Joe, who hadn't moved in years, leaped straight out of bed and busted out some dance moves. The whole family was stunned. It turned out the world's biggest chocolate factory had hidden 5 golden tickets inside its chocolate bars. Find one, and you'd get a tour of the most mysterious factory on Earth, with one winner taking home a grand prize. The news sent kids everywhere into a buying frenzy. A boy with a doctor's face was no exception. His name was Charlie Bucket, a die-hard Wonka fan. His family was so poor that he only got one chocolate bar a year. On his birthday, he carefully unwrapped it. No ticket. Meanwhile, the other winners started showing up one by one. First was Augustus Gloop, a kid who devoured hundreds of chocolate bars a day. He nearly ate the ticket itself. Second was Veruca Salt, a rich girl whose father bought out an entire city's worth of chocolate, hired 100,000 workers, and had them unwrap bars for 3 days straight until the money finally did its job. Third was the genius boy Mike TV, who used production dates and stock indices to calculate exactly where the ticket would be. The fourth winner was something else entirely, a 10-year-old girl who had already won the adult division of a martial arts championship, with over 100 trophies at home. She was fiercely competitive and had to be first at everything. She'd chewed a single piece of gum for 3 months straight, setting a world record. There was no way she was sitting out a trip to the world's biggest chocolate factory. With 4 tickets found and only one left, the odds were basically zero for everyone else. Charlie stared at the factory, feeling completely hopeless. But then, that $10 bill he'd found by chance set off a miracle. He got the last golden ticket. A few days later, 5 winners arrived at the factory with their families. A strangely dressed man stepped out to greet them, Willy Wonka, the factory's eccentric owner. Wonka threw open the doors, and the dreamlike world inside left everyone speechless. He told them everything here was edible. Augustus Gloop lost it immediately. He grabbed a fistful of grass off the ground and started chewing. When it got stuck in his throat, he rushed to the chocolate river and started gulping it down. Then he slipped and fell in, and got sucked up by a giant pipe. Blinded by greed, he became a slave to his appetite. The first one eliminated, the remaining guests boarded a boat and floated down to the factory's laboratory. Wonka showed off their latest creations, a candy that never melts, and a stick of gum that replaces a full 3-course meal. Still a prototype, though, but Violet Beauregard, too proud to hold back, grabbed the gum and started chewing. Within moments, her nose turned green, the color spread across her whole body, and she inflated like a giant blue balloon. Her sky-high ego had finally turned on her, the second child eliminated. Next, Wonka led the remaining 3 to the nut sorting room. Rows of trained squirrels tapped each nut and listened to detect whether it was good or bad. Veruca Salt immediately wanted one for herself and demanded her father buy it. Wonka told them it wasn't for sale, but she ignored him and barged in. The startled squirrels swarmed her, pinned her down, tapped on her head, listened carefully, confirmed, bad nut. Then they dragged her straight to the garbage chute. Money can't buy everything. Getting spoiled rotten eventually bites back. Veruca Salt, eliminated. Wonka then brought Charlie and Mike TV to see the most advanced machine in the factory. Workers placed a giant chocolate bar into a transport pod, and it beamed directly into a TV screen. Charlie reached in and pulled out the chocolate. It tasted exactly the same. Mike TV couldn't contain himself, a working teleporter, and all to use it for his candy. He jumped into the pod, waved goodbye, and a flash of light later, he'd been shrunk down and zapped into the screen, then punched straight into a frying pan. His dad had to peel him out, now the size of a hand. His arrogance made him a casualty of the very technology he worshipped, off to the stretching room to get pulled back to normal size. And so Charlie was the last one standing. They rode the glass elevator back to Charlie's house, where Wonka announced that the grand prize was inheriting the entire chocolate factory. Everyone burst into a tearful embrace. But then Wonka dropped one condition. Charlie had to move in alone. Wonka believed his own success came from cutting ties with family and dedicating himself entirely to his work. His father had been a dentist who made him wear a painful metal brace as a child, forbidding him from eating candy. So Wonka had run away and never looked back. Charlie didn't even hesitate. He turned it down on the spot. Faced with that kind of wealth, there wasn't a single flicker of doubt in his eyes. He would never leave his family. Wonka couldn't make sense of it. Taking Charlie's advice, he finally worked up the courage to go back home. And what he found stopped him cold. His father had never let him go. Every wall was covered in news clippings about Wonka's career. His father had been quietly following every step of his journey. Years of ice around Wonka's heart melted in an instant. The two of them embraced without a word. He finally got back the father's love he'd been missing all along. In the end, Charlie inherited Wonka's factory and brought his whole family with him. They all lived happily ever after.